Hey everyone, welcome back to Iguana Gaming. I'm the Iguana, and today we are playing some ARK Survival Evolved Mobile Edition. Now today, guys, we are on the Patreon server, and as you can see in the background here, there is the Dodo house that I have built up. And so what we are doing today is we are going to go ahead and go over how to breed dodos for size, both smaller and larger size, and we're going to go over what I believe are the 9 new abilities of the dodos. So we're going to go ahead and hop right in here, guys. Alright, so when you tame up a dodo, they come in a variety of sizes. I believe those can be anywhere between about 0.75 and about 1.15. So as you'll see here, I do have a 1.01 dodo, and then I also have a 1.14 over there. These were some of the original dodos that we started out with when I first began breeding, and since then I have, of course, bred quite a bit more. Now, pretty early on, we got this dodo that came out at about 0.77. Now, that is pretty small, and so from this bird, I then started breeding up. I did have a green dodo at one point, and I was able to get all of these other dodos, the smallest of which so far is a 0.7. Now, I believe you can go lower than this. I have not yet been able to breed one lower than this. I keep getting higher numbers. But I did get a nice mutation over here with some 0.72s, one of which is a female and the other is a male. So hopefully I'll be getting smaller dodos in the future. But yeah, the smaller size ones are definitely a challenge. All right, so from there, I've basically been breeding. I got a 1.2, a 1.3, and then I had a mutation on one set that got up to a 1.41 from about 1.0 parents. And so the way that dodo breeding works, guys, is obviously you take a male and a female dodo, but you have to pay attention to that dodo scale number that you have. So I'll go ahead in here and show this off. If you have a male and a female that have the same dodo scale, under normal circumstances, the dodo scale is randomly on the baby anywhere between 0.1 lower and 0.1 higher than the dodo scale of the parents. So you can make the most progress either up or down in size by breeding parents that are very, very close to the same dodo scale. So that is top tip number 1 for breeding dodos for size. Now, you can get a mutation on the dodo scale. I believe it happens about 12% of the time when you're just breeding normally, and that can give you a size increase of up to 0.4 above the parents. So that is a huge jump in size overall, and it does happen about 1 out of every 6 breedings, so it's not super rare. Now, if you're using a pheromone, it happens more like just under 40% of the time, so you can get a lot of mutations much more quickly if you're using herbivore pheromones on these dodos. Okay, so basically, that is what we did to start breeding, and then as we went along, we did increase our dodo sizes quite a bit until we got to this 1.77. At about 1.4, I believe you can no longer pick them up at all. So you see in the upper left-hand corner, there's no option to pick this dodo up. I believe there is still an option to pick up this dodo. So they lose their ability to be picked up at this size, and then at size, I believe it's 2.4, they become rideable. So I'll go ahead and show these off, kind of the progression of dodos that I had here. And you see this jump from 2.05 to 2.4. There is a saddle icon on this 2.48. While as on this 2.39, there is no saddle icon. So that is the distinction when you can begin to ride them. Once you get a 2.4, you can then hop on the dodo and you have a little dodo that you can run around on, which is pretty great. I love it. Oh my gosh, they're so silly when they run too. It's honestly very good. Okay, so now moving on from there, once you get past 2.4, the next big landmark is 2.6. And that is because at size 2.6, the dodos can wear this Dodo Cultivator bit, which apparently allows them to harvest vegetables. So I actually do have a dodo all lined up for that. It's this baby right here, the 2.7. All right, I'll go ahead and head out here. Oh, there we go. Cool. So, going into the orbital camera, you can see that we are wearing this cultivator bit, which is kind of interesting. It looks a little bit like a gardening tool that's just been strapped to the beak. I actually find it very funny and a little bit funny, like weird and awkward looking, but it's very cool. And so then you can just harvest a bunch of berries from bushes, which is really cool. Yeah, and you can see we got a decent amount of berries from that. There we go. So not too bad for just one-hitting bushes. I do like that. And this server does have boosted rates, so that's a little bit more than you would get normally, but it's still very good. They can be used to harvest berries now, and I mean, if your main berry harvester is a dodo, then that is time well spent. Now, the downside of these Dodo Cultivator bits is that they do have a durability bar, so be aware of that as you're crafting these. Please know that those will eventually break, and you will have to spend amber to create a new one, or potent dust, because these cost 20 potent dust to craft. So be aware of that. You can get potent dust from caves, obviously, and sometimes from the free gift ad, but you are going to need it to craft that. Okay, the next big size that's important is the 3.0. So we were able to get this beautiful 3.05 dodo, and as you can see, it is wearing this very colorful mask. Let's go ahead and hop on here. We're a little bit stuck on other dodos. They do have a little bit of collision issues, I've noticed, these dodos, which is not surprising given the size and the original creature they were created from. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take a good look at this. This is the Dodo Decimation bit. Now, I think this thing looks absolutely fantastic. It's so cool. I love the multicolored feathers on the head. They look really, really good, and the spikes on the nose. Like, I'm really happy with the way that the company basically created this particular piece of armor for the dodo. Now, what's really cool about this bit is that it does allow for damage to every known material. Now, guys, I think that means that they damage metal. Unfortunately, I cannot actually damage metal on this server because it is currently PvE, but I do believe that if you are on a PvP server, you would be able to damage things, because you can see we can't really hit wood, but it did say anything of any known material, which means it can probably harvest or destroy structures, which is kind of amazing, actually. Oh, we had a saber. All right. This might actually be a pretty good opportunity here. So, oh, it killed an iguanodon. All right, this is the problem. So you can see we have a saber here. And now you can see one of the next dodo abilities. This is the Dodo Rage ability, which is really, really cool. They basically go insane. So when dodos are very small and new, they often run away and are very afraid of danger. They don't actually attack creatures when you whistle them to attack anything. Now, this effect is really neat because they actually do go after stuff, although he is very hurt. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and kill this saber here. There we go. So you can see the dodos now rage. They will continue to go after creatures when you whistle them to attack stuff, which is a very cool feature, but it does mean that the dodo can get very hurt. So be careful, guys, because even though these dodos are big, they still don't have great stats. So a cool little raiding companion, possibly, but don't expect to keep that dodo for very long if you are in fact using it for raiding, because more than likely it will get itself killed, which is not ideal. All right. Cool. So Yeah, guys, that's dodos. Now, currently I have bred up to a 3.07. I am going to continue breeding these guys because I believe you can get bigger dodos. I'm not sure what the limit is, but I do want to find out. So I'm going to keep breeding. They do take longer to grow the bigger that they get. So for instance, these 3.0 dodos do take about a day to mature on this server, and I have boosted rates, like very boosted rates on this server. So just be aware, guys, that if you are breeding dodos, it will take you a very long time to get super, super large ones, just because of the limit on how slowly they grow. Like this guy, I hatched him early this morning, and it's been 12 hours, and he's about 50% grown. So we do have a long ways to go before we can get the really, really big dodos, but I will be keeping an eye out on that. So, a brief overview. I'm going to go through, I've made a list of all of the abilities that I believe the dodos have. So number one is basically that dodos can now be shoulder mounts if you breed for smaller size. So I'll go ahead and pick up my smallest dodo here. Now, you can see dodos don't normally sit on your shoulder when you tame them. You carry them in your hands. This dodo is now mounted on my shoulder, which is a new ability and is tied to only the smallest ones. So, yeah, essentially small dodos on your shoulders is a thing. So that's ability number one. The second ability is one that I've actually not seen yet. Dodos can now drop feathers. I have gotten feathers through codes and through people who have gifted me feathers. I've not seen any feathers dropped yet, but apparently once dodos hit 1.56 scale, they will start dropping feathers. Now, I've not seen any, so I assume that they must be a relatively rare drop. But I have been lurking on the ARK mobile Discord, and it does seem like you can get an increase in feathers if you tame an oviraptor. So that means that feathers follow the same like coding as dodo eggs do. So if you have an oviraptor in the pen with your dodos, they will probably drop feathers far more often than they would if they had just themselves around. So be aware of that, and maybe go tame yourselves an oviraptor if you are looking for feathers, because feathers are very useful, guys. Feathers are used to craft all four of these items: the dodo arrow, the dodo cultivator bit, the dodo decimation bit, and the sail plume. So you need 100 feathers for this sail plume, which does make a raft go faster, which I really, really would like to see. So I will be crafting one of those if I ever get 100 feathers. And then there are also the dodo arrows, which provoke most wild creatures. So I'm pretty sure that this dodo arrow is going to be very useful in things like Quetzal taming and Tapejara taming. So we will be testing that out at some point as well once we get a few more feathers. But all right, moving on from the feather ability. Now we have the rage ability, which I demonstrated earlier with our decimator bit. And then they do have the harvest ability when they're wearing the cultivator bit, so they can harvest berries. They do have the this bit right here, the demo bit, can actually damage structures, any structure. So that is a new ability. They're rideable. That is an ability. They now have the ability to jump when you are riding them, which is new. Go ahead and demonstrate that. All right. And then they also have the ability to just attack in general, which they really didn't have a way to do that before. So I think that's actually ability number 8. All right. Now, ability number 9, and I hope you guys were counting along with all that, is what I am calling personally the butt stomp. So now none of my dodos can do an alternate attack. I've tried every which way. I've swiped up, I've swiped down, I've double tapped, I've done everything I can think of. I'm actually going to go ahead and show you guys in the options. Where is it? The controls. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and change my all of my taps right here. So that's jump, and nothing happens with the other alt attacks. So I do think that there is I think you need a bigger dodo for it is the thing. Wait, which one am I on? Left? Oh my gosh, I've completely lost. There we go. Yes? No. View survivor. Whistle menu. Sorry guys, I was trying to sort those out. Yes, that's correct. Okay, cool. Yeah, so the butt stomp ability, here's a picture of it for you guys, just so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. Now this is very, very cool. Wardrum did tweet this picture out quite some time ago and teased this, and it looks like the dodo is sitting, which means that I think it can actually, I don't know if it actually crushes things or what, but I'm calling it a butt stomp because it looks like a butt stomp to me. I think it's an ability where they can actually damage things by sitting on them, which makes sense if you have a big enough bird. So I don't have a dodo that can do this yet. I'm really, really hoping to get one soon. I will continue to breed for large size, but I do believe that that is the final ability that the dodos have. So yeah, guys, if you have discovered what size the dodos can begin to butt stomp at, please let me know in the comments down below. Or if you have found another dodo ability, please do let me know that as well. I'm very, very curious to learn all of the information that you guys may have collected that I've not seen yet. And yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on these guys, looking for feathers. And I'm beginning to imprint some of the larger dodos when I know I'll be riding them around some. So yeah, guys, I actually do think that that is going to do it for today's episode, since we've done pretty much all of that now. Let's go ahead and go into orbital mode so you can see just how large these birds are in comparison to our survivor. They are amazing. I really love all of these dodos, and I'm really glad that this was implemented into the game, and I hope you guys are really happy with it too, because it's a really fun thing that they've added, and I think it's going to be worthwhile. Alright guys, so as I was saying, please do leave any comments you have on the Dodo TLC pass down in the comments section below the video. I would love to read everything that you guys have learned and discovered about these dodos, all of the different size differences and the abilities at those different sizes. I would like to see all of those as well. And if you did find yourself enjoying this video at any point, guys, please do remember to hit that like button, because it seriously helps me out. And if you want to see more content like this, you can, of course, subscribe. I will catch you all in the next one. Signing off, this is the Iguana.